Far from fixed.
So if it crashes, don't be surprised. There we go. Yeah, I was fixing it. Brandon, can you hear me now? Yeah, my computer is not fixed. It took me about 3 hours to post my video today because my computer crashed 18 times. It might crash while I'm streaming. But I left it with Geek Squad for weeks, and they couldn't fix it. So that was a waste of $200. And then I finally asked them, I said, did you check the CPU? Is it a CPU issue? They're like, oh. And I was like, oh my God, these are not geeks at all. So I called Origin, the company, and I said, I have a warranty on this, right? And they're like, yeah, you have a all parts warranty. That lasts another year. So I said, okay, well then send me a new CPU. I'm going to bring it to Geek Squad to have them install it because I don't want to install it. Because I know they know how to install CPU. And then if that doesn't work, they're just going to keep sending me parts until one of them fixes it. I talked to a technical support guy at Origin, though, and he said he's seen this happen before with the Origin Chronos V3, and he thinks it's a corrupted CPU. So, but, oh, and then Origin was like, we could also completely replace your computer and send you a new one. I'm like, great, what's the timeline on that? And they're like, oh, like a month and a half. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Listen, my whole goal with this channel has always been stream every day, multiple times a day if I can, upload every day. So it's super frustrating that I've been struggling to get, like, I haven't been able to live stream. And it's hard making content on my laptop. I don't have all the stuff I have on my main computer. Yeah, Matt, I'm kind of back. My computer may crash. I'm as back as I can be for now. My new CPU is going to get here that Origin is sending me in a couple weeks. I'm going to have to take it in, put it in, but yeah, it takes me hours to make content because my computer crash. I never know when my computer's going to crash. It crashes like at least 10 times a day. For some reason, and knock on wood, for some reason, when I stream, it almost never crashes. I think it has to do, whatever part of the CPU is corrupted, it doesn't like when I'm doing something, like when I'm doing certain things on my computer, but other things it's okay. Eden's back. We can check the water temps in the Gulf. We'll check a bunch of stuff. There's a chance for tornado stay. Okay, let me take the be right back thing away. I'm quickly going to go over everything that's going on today, and then I'm going to take your questions. Okay, categorical outlook today. We've got a large marginal risk, obviously. Here's our 2 out of 5, or slight risk, stretching down. Let's see if I can remember how to live stream, because it's been too long. Stretching from southern Illinois up through eastern Michigan, so Ohio Valley, Midwest, Great Lake region up here. There is a tornado risk just up here right now, according to the SBC in northeastern Michigan. This is mainly a wind-driven threat today, no surprise. Hail, you could see some small hail up in some of these portions. Hail isn't a big deal today, but we could see some. Wind-driven threat, tornado threat. We're going to take a look. That we could see that enhanced a little bit, but we'll see. I don't expect too much of a tornado threat. We do have a 20% chance of tropical development down here in the Gulf. I don't see much, but it's possible. Rainfall. Again, this is horrible. We're just continuing to see the chance for excessive rainfall out here where we've already had a lot of flooding, especially Texas. That's an issue today. Rainfall totals. Let's go to daily. We could see locally 5 to 6 inches, maybe even 7 inches locally in some of these areas in central Texas. Das ist nicht so gut. That is not good. Ooh. Thanks, Mezzo. Is there a smudge on my glasses? Or, oh no, that's just literally my vision. Okay, I thought I was seeing blurry, and it's just my vision. Okay, nope, confirmed. Confirmed, I'm just blind. It's not the glasses. Okay. Listen. No, my son broke my glasses, guys. I love him, but he's a monster. I love him, but he's an absolute monster. He destroys everything I love. And everything I own. But he's alright, we'll keep him. Okay. So that's what's going on here. Really quickly, let's take a look at what's going on. Oh, let me turn down this music a little bit. Well, I guess it's not that loud. Let's go and take a look at Pivotal. That's not there. Don't worry, I'll pull it up. No one have any fear. It's coming. There it is. All right, latest HRRR day. What's going on? If I have any mods, can you like, you can ban that person. You don't need to mute them. You can just full on ban them. skip the mute thing. Or I will. Here, I'll do it. Block. All right. HRRR, what's going on? Matt, you have any thoughts for today if you're still in here? Yeah, again, I'm going to take your guys' questions in just a second. Here we go. Stuff really starts to crank up. Bop, 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 boop. Yeah, right around there. So, I mean, we're going to have some decent storms. Yeah, I mean, this looks to be 4 or 5 p.m. Things really get going. Interesting what's happening down here in Kentucky, actually. Stuff bad happening in central Ohio right now. What do you mean? You've got some thunderstorms out there. Nothing too bad. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, is this our early tornado threat that we have in Michigan right now? I think it is.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Because, well, let's take a look at a couple things. I want to get down here into the Ohio Valley and look how this is developing on the HRRR based on the latest run. Okay, here we go. Interesting. Not looking too spicy, if I'm being honest. Not looking too scary. Let's move up to the north. Yeah, I mean, let's go to the impasse. I'm not seeing anything too crazy, guys. Look at our SIG-TOR frames, instability. Yeah, I mean, this tornado threat's almost out of your hair. It'll be out of your hair pretty soon. Let's go back to the HRRR.
A new special marine
What's our jet doing tonight? Yeah, a lot of shear up there in northern Michigan, north and eastern Michigan. I see why we have a TOR threat up there. You got a nice little some nice velocities down there moving through Indiana later as well in western Ohio. So that'll be interesting. We'll have to watch that. Instability numbers or whatever. They're not super impressive. They're just average cape for a day like today. Summertime. I mean, yeah, nothing crazy. So, take a look at our dew points. I mean, this is an average severe weather day. Let's look at our dew points. Very high dew points. Very high dew points, especially moving through Indiana and Ohio. So, you can get some very, very high cloud tops there. Maybe some considerable damage threat, severe thunderstorms there. But overall, not looking too bad today. Rain was crazy. Yeah. There's a yeah, you're not seeing like this big moisture plume rolling through. This is pretty quick. You've got some isolated storms here getting wrapped around by our upper level low up to the north. If we go to our satellite, you can see it probably. Let's go here. See, here's our low. Here's the tail of the low that's going to be pulled through. So we've also got some cooler air that's going to want to enter the U.S. moving into the beginning of next week. And that's going to create another severe weather threat out here, I believe. So what happened to being able to play? They made it so I could put the radar in motion, and now I can't. Did they just put that feature in and then decide they didn't want it? That's annoying. Anyways, that's the upper level low spinning through. So Southwest Indiana heard we're under a slight risk. Yeah, you guys are. Slight risk. It's wind driven. So here's your categorical threat for today. Most of Indiana, I mean, half of Indiana's in it, south and east. in Central. But it's wind driven. They don't even have a 2% tornado risk for you. It's just mainly wind. Small chance for hail, maybe, not even. I don't know. I think you could get some hail down here based on decent, okay Cape values and dew points. But here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning, new one, just down here in Kentucky. Not looking too bad though. Definitely high velocities moving through Bettyville, out to the east towards Jackson, Kentucky, and north of there. Overall, though, not much going on. Not much going on across the states. We got a severe thunderstorm warning 2 out here in Virginia. Again, neither of these looking very impressive. Not too worried about that. Got a severe thunderstorm warning up here just to the east of Detroit, too. Again, this is just a wind threat. So, not bad. Here's what's going on across the states. There's rain everywhere over here out east and central. So, Texas, again, we're expecting this stuff to give you a good soaking again. Central Texas, we could see, again, 6-7 inches locally. Not a good... That's actually my biggest concern today.
This special marine warning has been updated.
Yeah, I mean, we can go, if you guys want, I could show you kind of the timeline for today. Latest HRRR 16Z. Here we go for Indiana. Storms start to really fire off and move into kind of central, like Indianapolis, Bloomington, southern Indiana at around 3 p.m. Central. It's about 2 hours. Making their way. They should be out of your hair in Indiana, hopefully by 9 p.m., hopefully by mid-ish evening. Ohio, you could see your strongest storms moving through there pretty soon, maybe around 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern. You know, I just realized, wait. No, Indiana's Eastern, isn't it? Because it goes like, I always forget. It's this. Like that. Whatever. You guys get it. Yeah, these storms firing off in Ohio around 5 Eastern today. Could get a nice band of storms down here. 7 Central moving into from Cape Girardeau up through Evansville and Louisville, Kentucky. But overall, not looking too bad. Not looking too threatening. Heavy rainfall, though, again, is expected. Look at this. Look at what's happening down here in central Texas again. Storms move through, and then you've got kind of this stalling surface low that wants to dump in these same areas that have been receiving a lot of flash flooding. Not good. I can look at water temps. I'll do that in a second. So should we look at it as a sharp drop-off outside of the marginal risk? Yeah. I mean, so this is just showing the marginal. Even a marginal, you usually, even marginals, a lot of times you don't even see severe. You just see strong thunderstorms. But although on a day like today, though, where you have these like scattered thunderstorms everywhere, it is possible to get severe storms up here, severe storms down here. With a setup like today, you could actually easily get a severe thunderstorm outside of the marginal if you're in a general thunderstorm, which you can see if we look at the general thunderstorm.
A new flash flood
all that green. The lightest green is general. Some days when you've got like a big frontal boundary coming through, we know that you're probably not gonna. We know the areas that are gonna see severe weather. A day like today where we have severe weather just popping up everywhere, you could get some severe thunderstorms in the general thunderstorm regions today. Yeah, no problem. Savannah, Georgia, going to be in that. Savannah, Georgia is looking pretty good today. Savannah, Georgia may get some thunderstorms today, but not expecting any to be severe. Let's quickly look at what's going on with our ocean temps and this possible tropical cyclone that I don't think is going to happen, but it could. Oops, where am I going? Sorry. Really quickly. Let's take a look at... Okay, well, we can take a look at these models real quick. Let's go into regions. I want to take a look at water temps as well. Okay, here you go.
New information. This special marine warning has been updated.
Okay, so here's the latest GFS. And it doesn't want that tropical cyclone to form in the Gulf. I'm not too surprised by that. Now, again, we have such a perfect setup for an active hurricane season right now, and it's just not happening. There's a couple different factors, sheer water temps and stuff like that have been cooled. This is our Bermuda high. I mean, this high pressure is set up so perfectly for landfalling hurricanes right now. Thank God we don't have tropical cyclones out here, because they would all steer into the Gulf and into the Carolinas or southeastern coast. With the location of this high pressure here, this high pressure basically acts as a boundary, and instead of the storms being able to go off into the northern Atlantic, they're forced into the U.S. The Bermuda high this year was supposed to be way off to the east, and it is stationed right next to the U.S., which calls for a lot of landfalling tropical systems. We just have shear and water temperature problems right now, and moisture problems, which is good. But that Bermuda high continues to float. You can see the Bermuda high continuing to just give this. Directionally, it's not good if we do get something forming. Yeah, so GFS isn't seeing much. We can take a look at the European real quick. I don't expect it to see much either. Yeah. Yeah, not much. Let's take a look. Analysis tools, ocean analysis. Let's go into... Look at these cooled waters. That is crazy. Still looking pretty warm. Still looking pretty warm up there. Portions of the western Atlantic. This tropical storm did cool our waters out a little bit here. We had another tropical. We had Beryl or Barry or whatever that was. I didn't really care about it because it was so weak, but that caused some upwelling out here. I don't know what's happening here. Little hot tub. And what's going on here? That looks unnatural. That looks like they're heating their own water. There's literally an ocean heater right there. But yeah, these waters are not impressive right now. And then if we look out towards the MDR, the main development region, I expect them to be still cool as well. And we'll see if that changed. But looking out towards the MDR, where tropical waves come off the coast, pretty cool. So, wow, this hurricane season has definitely taken a downtrend. Again, though, things can change overnight. Water temperatures aren't going to change overnight, but if you get shear to lift, even with these below average temperatures that we're seeing out here in the MDR, Caribbean Gulf, they're still warm enough for tropical development. So if we get some shear to lift and a little bit more moisture, convection in some of these areas, or a nice tropical wave coming off the African coast, we'll see a strong hurricane. They're still expecting an above average monsoon season in Western Africa. So hurricane season is far from over. Oh, last thing I want to look at with you guys. This is interesting. So they're putting us back up towards an end zone neutral. So we're almost at an end zone neutral actually right now. We got close to it. We got close to a weak La Nina there. And now we're creeping up towards end zone neutral again, which again, we've seen most of our most active hurricane seasons in an end zone neutral. Wow. So we're getting lucky right now, especially with the placement of the Bermuda high. All right. Well, that's what's going on with storms or the tropics. Here's our actual radar right now. They can say what they want. The water is hot here off North Carolina. Well, that is one of the areas that it was a little warmer, was it not? When I was showing you that stuff. And again, where you see these temperature anomalies, it's not saying where it's blue. It's not saying the temperature is cold. It's just cooler than average. The waters off the coast of the Carolinas in summer is going to be hot regardless of if it's cooler than average or above average. It's summertime. But yes, the waters off the coast of the Carolinas are actually, well, specifically central. Let me show you this real quick. Specifically, like through here are about average. You can see slightly below average, but they're about average. It's a lot of white in there. So, but they're not. I mean, they're a little bit above average up here, but.
A new flash flood warning has been issued.
Let's see where that flash flood warning is. Oh, I don't have that on here. Here it is. Flash flood warning in Texas, of course. Cross Plains, south of Baird, Putnam. Asheville, North Carolina. Not too concerned with Asheville, North Carolina today. You're in a marginal. Taking a look at Radar Omega. Oh, I've got 84 people here. Guys, I might be what's going on. Ease, I appreciate you. Yeah, I was really nervous getting back into this. I was like, my channel's going to take a hit. I've lost like hundreds of, it's only hundreds, but my channel's not a big deal, but I've been like losing people every day because I haven't been able to stream, and it's very sad. Here, 16ZH triple R. Storms start to really fire up. You could get some strong thunderstorms out here in and around Asheville at around 4 p.m., give or take an hour, give or take 30 minutes-ish today. So late afternoon, and then could continue to see severe weather, maybe, or strong to severe storms. I can't talk. Let's say 4 to 7 p.m. looks to be the window for Asheville, but we could see it a little after that as well. But 4 to 7 p.m. looks to really be the window there. There's not like any sort of crazy shear going on down here or anything that would make me think that there's a tornado chance. Less than a 1% chance for tornadoes, but you could get some wind and small hail. South Carolina's not looking bad today. Again, I mean, upstate South Carolina could get some strong to severe storms. Why do I keep saying thorns? Am I having a stroke? That's a bad joke, but I literally can't pronounce words. Although this is normal. Anyone who watches my stream, I literally struggle with the English language. I think what happens is my brain thinks quicker than I speak because I'm so ADHD. So like I'm like thinking of the words I want to say, and like my mouth is lagging behind. Upstate South Carolina, strong to severe thunderstorms. 7, 6, 7, 8 today, and then later into the evening. I don't think we're going to see much with these, but we'll watch. Maybe I should just slow down. Slow down. I'll talk very slow so I can say my words correctly. Oh, I had over 100 earlier? Nice. Oh, 114. Okay, the channel's not doing too bad. I expected like 10 viewers today. Wait. What's the next name? What are you talking about? Sean, what are you talking about? It's the Red Bull's true. I had Red Bull and coffee today, yeah. Oh, yeah, for YouTube, that's actually pretty good. Dublin, Ohio. Vibes, I appreciate you. You know, my computer's still having issues. I basically called up Geek Squad and said, hey, I want my computer back. You've had it for weeks and you still haven't fixed it. So my computer crashes multiple times a day. So, but I called Origin, which I have an Origin Chronos V3, and I have a warranty. So they're sending me multiple parts. Geek Squad's going to put those parts in until one of them fixes it. But there's going to be a period again where I'm probably not going to have my computer for like a week. But it's just something I needed to address. Like I could keep using my computer with the threat of it crashing constantly, and I don't want that. So, but hopefully I only have like a week left of repairs, and then I can get back to being on every day. But I will be on every day now for quite a while until that my CPU comes in. Ain't going nowhere. I appreciate you, Caroline. Okay, so yeah, out here. So someone asked me about somewhere in Ohio that seems to be very close, Dublin, I think, to Columbus, Ohio. Storms look to be rolling in there, potentially around 7 Eastern. You know, they're losing a lot of steam as they get into the Columbus, Ohio area. That's why it drops off to a marginal just to the east. So not expecting anything too crazy, but it's going to be a mid to late evening event for you guys if you do get any storms. Mainly a wind threat. Could get some potential damaging winds with strong to severe thunderstorms. But it's not looking too terrible. Not looking terrible. Is Michigan done for the thumb area? I don't think so. There's some more storms that, well, there's some more storms that want to fire off in the southern region here. If you're talking about like upper thumb, you may be done for the day. Let's take a look at what's actually going on up there right now. So you've got this line of storms that could bring in a few more severe chances over the next 2 hours. So we'll watch that. Yeah, I love streaming, so it's pretty upsetting. And I just like love the community that I'm building, like the people, you know what I mean? And like, it's one thing to connect over Discord, but I was like staying off Discord because it was so depressing. I was like, I like being on stream and talking to people. Donor, I appreciate you. How long are storms supposed to last in and around the Bloomington, or in and around Bloomington, Indiana? All right, so it's looking like give or take an hour, 4 p.m. Eastern. So 2 hours, we could have some strong thunderstorms rolling through. So as early as 4, and then you could see thunder showers as late as maybe 7 p.m. That looks to be your main window. Could be as late as 8 p.m. So we'll say 4 to 8 to give us some leeway. Again, it's just a wind threat. My biggest concern would be down trees with the strong straight line winds or tree branches or power outages. Again, not really too big of a tornado threat. Maybe small hail. Not a super dangerous setup today, but it's still best. You know, we sometimes get a surprise storm here and there when the conditions just are right. So it's always best to stay weather alert. I've had 2 tornado warnings in the last, 2 days where I live near Philly. Oh, by the way, guys.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Does anyone in either chat live in Minnesota? Do I have any Minnesotans in here? What's going on, Winter Storm? Yeah. I think I know where you are, Fairy. Wait, aren't you in Oklahoma? Vermont, Texas. Yeah, I'm moving to Minnesota. I think the first week of August. We actually just waiting to see if we put an offer in on a place, so waiting to hear back. But I will be living in Minnesota next month. South of the city. I'm not going to completely dox myself, but we'll say it's about 25 minutes south of the city. We'll say that. And I love winter, so I am hyped. My whole life I wanted to live in Minnesota, that's probably never came out of anyone's mouth. I grew up in swampy Florida and with no seasons, and then I lived in LA with no seasons. The majority of my life, I've lived in places with no seasons, and I was always like, I want to go somewhere with extreme seasons. Yeah, thanks, Caroline. So I'm excited. I live in Vermont. You're from Boston, so you're used to seasons. Yeah, I love the snow. Yeah, my wife said that I'm not gonna like the snow after a couple of years. We'll see. We went up there in 2023, the year they got 110 inches of snow. It was incredible. It's also incredible that the airport up there. I remember there was a big snowstorm coming through that dropped 16 inches of snow overnight. And I was telling my wife and her mom, I was like, oh my God, our flight's going to be canceled. It's dropping 1.5 feet of snow right before our flight. And they were like, oh no, they don't cancel flights for snow. It has to be the storm of the century for flights to get canceled for snow in Minnesota. 16 inches of snow dropped. Our flight was not only not canceled or delayed, our flight left early the next day. I was like, only this airport. I'm sure there's other airports that are pretty good with snow, but they were like, yeah, business as usual. 1.5 feet of snow. If 1.5 feet of snow dropped in Philly, that airport would be shut down for 3 days. I mean, we get a 1/2 inch in that airport. It's delays and cancellations across the board. I could not believe it. All right. I grew up in northern Utah. Oh, yeah, we can talk snow. That's why I'm in the South now, yeah. Oh, yeah, OKC Metro. Yeah, let's see what's going on today. Definitely some strong storms developing around 3 Central. So very soon, maybe 45 minutes out. And then kind of not moving through too quickly. You could see some strong storms really from 3 to 6 Central, maybe even 3 to 7 Central today. These storms don't look like they're going to move quick. And as they're moving through, you're getting some more storms firing off on the back end. It looks to me like we have a surface low developing here, and that's why. So, you've got your upper level low and then the tail of the upper level low, and then you've got just a lot of heat and moisture and some colliding of air boundaries up here. So it's developing its own kind of weather system down here. So yeah, a little surface low. These are a little bit unpredictable. These are a little bit unpredictable, and this is going to cause a lot of issues in Texas again. So we may see some severe storms that we didn't actually expect around the OKC area, just based on what I'm seeing on the future model of this HRRR. You can see the rotation up here. Sometimes these can really fire off more than expected. Remo, what's going on? All right, weather boy. Talk about Arizona. Not much going on in Arizona. It's dry because it's a desert. That's about it. It's just going to be dry and hot. That's your weather report. It's going to be dry and hot in Arizona. I know, shocker. Sadie, what's going on? Oh, it's already been storming? Yeah, there's storms in that area. I mean, this is a little bit old. We have to go to the actual radar, but yeah. But I think it's gonna. We're gonna get. There's your upper level low right here. So you know what? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this.
Warning: a new special marine warning.
I don't know that we don't get a 2% tour risk out here later. The way this is developing, there's going to be rotating cells. Not a ton. I don't expect a ton of helicity. So I don't expect a ton of violent rotation, but I expect some rotating cells. Don't worry. I don't expect like a major tornado out here, but I think you could get 1 or 2 weak ones that touch down. Just based on what's going on with this right here, with this line. Let me quickly do this. Let's quickly do this. What am I doing? Let's look at mesoscale analysis.
New information. This special marine warning has been updated.
Violent torque parameters still up there in Michigan, as you can see. I want to look at the SIG tor. Okay, they're not. Well, let's look at shear, effective layer shear. There's some shear down here. Not surprising. In and around northern Oklahoma. Surface shear. We've got. This is what I'm talking about. I don't think it's impossible to see a tornado down there. Surface cape is very high. Around 4,000. Lapse rates are decent enough. Let's look at our low-level jet right now. Not crazy. I don't need most unstable cape. Look at this helicity down here. It's not terrible, and we have a little bit of shear. I don't think we're going to have like any sort of major tornado outbreak. I just think we could get 1 or 2 weak ones, and I'm surprised they don't have a 2% on it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's possible. But yeah, not too impressive. Is the hair for today? What does that mean? One second, guys. Let's get that positioned correctly. The little ones are doing good. Okay. My 2-month-old baby girl sleeps like 8 to 10 hours straight at night. Anyone who's a parent here understands how insane that is and the significance of it. Yes, my 2-month-old sleeps through the entire night. Not every night, but a lot of nights. Insane. My son didn't do that until he was like a year old. Just to put it in perspective. Yeah, literally blessed. We all we knew was my son, and we just figured that's how it was going to be. Apparently, sometimes kids are different. A little gusty in southern Bloomington. Yep, you got some storms moving in shortly. You do. What do I expect for Dayton, Ohio? Nothing too bad today. Wind threat. Strong to severe thunderstorms could be rolling in. 6, 7 p.m. Eastern, and then out of your hair 2 hours later. Yeah, gusting conditions. Wind is your main threat today. Small chance for hail, minute chance for tornadoes. Yeah, Carolina, it's crazy. Like, my kids are just different. Completely different experience with this little one. The yellow is a slight risk for severe thunderstorms today. So 2 out of 5 risk, not a big one, but mainly just a wind threat. We could have some strong to severe thunderstorms capable of producing 60 to 70 plus mile per hour gusts. Power outages, definitely possible. We have a tour risk today up here. It's not going to be lasting that much longer, though, up in northeastern Michigan. Colleen, thanks. No problem. Hey, I'm driving from Denver to Houston. How does that look? Today? You're probably going to drive through some weather. Tomorrow. Well, let's go to the 12Z and look at how we're looking for tomorrow.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Tomorrow doesn't look bad. I mean, you're going to run into issues in Central Texas. We're continuing to see funneling moisture into Central Texas with strong thunderstorms. This whole drive up here tomorrow looks fine, and the end of the drive looks fine. But you're going to run into, you can see this area. This is so bad. Just continued flood. Look at this. Continued. Like, watch this area. Non-stop funneling of moisture. There we go. There we go again. I mean, like, you've got your kind of surface low here continuing to drag moisture through this region. Driving south to North Michigan. How do you drive south to North Michigan? Oh, like this, I guess.
A new severe thunderstorm warning.
I didn't even know this bridge existed. The Mackinac Bridge. I probably said that wrong, but... Oh, this is where my cousin got married. Mackinac Island. That's where that is. W Weatherman. Discovery, I appreciate you. Mackinac. Whatever. If it's not Mackinac, I'm still going to call it that. Sam, I appreciate you. Laddie. Susan. Winter storm. They're saying we're supposed to have a weak La Nina this year. Okay. I'm going to draw this out for everyone. Okay. Okay. Here's our graph.
New information. This
Okay.
flood warning has been updated.
Something like this. Okay. Right here, anything in here is an end zone neutral. Anything here and up, or anything here to, we'll say here. Okay. This is weak El Nino. Weak La Nina.
Information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Okay. We have been continuing to go like this. Okay. We're stuck in an end zone neutral that keeps wanting to go weak La Nina and then keeps going up. It keeps wanting to weak La Nina. This is what's been going on. Now, the trend that we've been seeing right now is this, as of late. It's trending upwards. This is the water temperature. By the way, surface water temperature in portions of the Eastern Pacific that control all of our weather. That, not control, but have a large effect on it. So, you know, we were supposed to dig down into a La Nina. We didn't make it, but I don't expect us to go back down anymore. I think this slow progression is going to continue. I think we're stuck in an Enzo neutral all winter, and then we get into next summer, and we're back in an El Nino. I could have literally just showed you a map, but I was in the mood to draw. These waters are extremely important. I have a lot of control over these waters right here. I have a lot of control over our, really right down here, over our weather in the U.S. And then El Nino, Enzo 3, Enzo 4, and then Enzo 3.4 somewhere out here.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been
Something like this. That has a lot of effect on our waters as well. I mean, on our weather as well. Why? That's for another stream. I don't... I'm not in the mood to talk about climatology. I will tomorrow, though. A lot of lightning associated with these thunderstorms. Your light is flickering. Hopefully it stays on. Anytime there's a little gust outside of my house, my power flickers. It's annoying. Yeah, it wasn't a tornado warned storm, and it looked like it was about to touch down, and then it lifted up. I was home with my daughter, and I was like, I'm about to get under the stairs. But it lifted. It did cause a little bit of damage, though, in and around my area. Kentucky hasn't seen much in a bit. It's gonna see a little bit. It's gonna see a decent line of storms tonight, I think, out here in Western Kentucky. Could try to produce something. Live stream of the storm in Des Moines, it was crazy. I've missed out on a lot of the severe weather lately just because of everything that's been going on. I was working on getting this. It's basically a promotion. That's why I'm working for the same company, but that's why I'm moving out to Minnesota. So work's been taking a lot of my time. Doesn't help that I have a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. And then my computer being broken. It's been rough, but things are gonna be all right. This computer's on its way to getting fixed. I'm getting some new parts in, and once I get moved, I'll settle in. I've already picked out the room that my office is gonna get in, so hopefully by mid-August, I have my whole setup completely set up where I'm moving, and then everything's back to normal. Off topic, Connecticut hasn't had a tornado warned storm this year. Wait, really? That's very interesting.
new information. This special marine warning.
That's very interesting. Let's take a look at our day 2, day 3. Yeah, that's very interesting that you got. I didn't know that. You've had, how many states haven't had one? Because we've had tornado warned storms, I'm pretty sure, even in Oregon and Washington this year. You guys had a couple chances because we had some tornadoes through this region.
Has been issued.
Any storms tonight in central Kentucky? Yeah, I mean, you could see some storms tonight, but I don't expect anything too bad. Weak storms. Yeah, nothing too bad. I would call it thunder showers, not even thunderstorms. Heard Friday might be a big day. Next Friday? That's 6 days out. That's hard to tell, but we can take a look. Let's go to Pivotal real quick.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
What is the European model telling us? All right. We put an offer on a home, and my wife just told me they accept it. There we go. That's a little stress off my back. We really wanted this home. We did a little negotiating. A little back and forth counter offering. Was successful. Yeah, pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, so let's look at, yeah, I mean, let's take a quick extended look. This is very interesting to me here. severe weather-wise. Could we see something here? High pressure down to the south. This is going to be warm air. This is going to be cold air. Not that significant. We're going to have no dry line with this, but what's our 850 millibar doing on Wednesday? Oh, yeah. Nice little upper level low forming here. Mid next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Could see a decent day up here. Enhanced maybe, if this continues. And then this would be a chance for Connecticut tornado for whoever said they want a tornado in Connecticut. This is interesting because this to me looks like a classic spring tornado season setup, by the way. This right here. Next Saturday. But yeah, next Friday out here in the Northeast. Is that what you were talking about? Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Next Friday out there in the Northeast does look like something. For sure. Ooh, what is this? If this happens, this is gonna be some nice cold air out here. What's our that's so far out though, but troughing isn't that hard to see. Yeah, look at that.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'm seeing middle next week, towards the end of next week. I'm seeing like Wednesday to Saturday. Severe weather chances up here. Maybe even pushing like down towards here. We'll see. I need to add new songs to my playlist. Your local weather has already been talking about it. Wow. 6 days in advance. Yeah, it looks pretty impressive. So I wonder if the SPC has even mentioned it, or it has it in its oh, you know what we could look at? We could look at CSU. I wonder if interesting. They don't have a day 4, day 5, day 6. Okay. Let's look at CSU real quick. Look at this. All right. They have the severe weather a little bit farther south than what I was suggesting. I think they're going to change that. They have this main severe threat out here on Thursday. So CSU expects this to be a little bit deeper of a trough and a little bit faster of a trough. That's what I'm getting out of this. But I mean, yeah, we have a day 6 slight from CSU, so which does include portions of Connecticut. So they think something's happening. They do. They very much do. Michigander. Once this line goes through. Yeah, so here's what's going on up here in Michigan. You've got these storms that are going to push through the thumb as well. But yeah, I mean, your severe threats basically. This is your upper level low, and these are our storms. So let's go back to our satellite. Here, we'll do this. Actually, we're going to do this. We're not going to do that. Can I get out of here? Hello? There we go. So I'll just pull up our latest HRRR. Or not. Nothing wants to load. There we go. So, you know, the HRRR, a couple models want to spawn a couple more storms down here in far southeastern Michigan. Well, eastern Michigan. So you can see all the way until about 8 Eastern tonight. We'll be watching this area.
Storm warning has been issued.
Other than that, most of Michigan's good, though. But Detroit could see some decent storms throughout the early evening. Maybe as far north as Sandusky. Down here to Toledo. North of Atlanta. Not much going on today. Not much going on. Maybe a thunder shower later. Storms coming into southern Indiana are weak right now. They're going to intensify. Give it like an hour. This daytime heating is going to intensify a lot of these storms. Here's what they're doing down here right now. We'll see some of these start to intensify. I'd say about an hour. And spread. Yeah, central Indiana, we were looking at the timing for that earlier. Again, mainly a wind threat. Very low chance for tornadoes through central Indiana. Small hail possible, but strongest storms look to move into central Indiana between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern. So they're going to roll through pretty quickly. A couple hours. Be out of everyone's hair. The severe threat is only going to last about 20-30 minutes because it's kind of a frontal boundary. Or squall line, not a frontal boundary. Groove City, Ohio. Yeah, Columbus. Yeah, strong to severe thunderstorms could roll in there around 7 Eastern. You could experience thunder showers for a few hours. Not looking too bad again. Just a wind threat. We could see a lot of these storms lose steam before they even reach Columbus. I appreciate the follows, guys. Getting all the lightning alerts now. Howell, Michigan. I mean, you're not expected to see much more throughout today, so I wouldn't be surprised if you guys didn't see another thunderstorm. No, I think Pittsburgh's going to be fine. You could see a scattered thunderstorm, but I'm not expecting anything severe out there. Florida's just got thunder. You know, it's summertime showers moving through. It's very unpredictable over summer. You have so much moisture and heat because you're a peninsula, so it's pretty much unpredictable. It's not associated with any system, just daytime thunderstorms from you know, moisture and heat. I hope New York actually gets a decent winter this year with more snow than the last few years. Yeah, I mean, listen, everyone's been in a snow drought up here in the Mid-Atlantic. Snow droughts eventually stop. There's been 10-year snow droughts up here before. We're only in about a 4-year snow drought, so it'll break. The longer the drought goes, the more likely it is to break. Planet Earth has a good way of correcting itself. So it's the law of, what is it? Averages? Big numbers? I don't know, something like that. Just trying to sound smart. Anything severe in southern Ohio in the next few days? Well, chance for some severe weather tonight. Not looking too bad. Moving into tomorrow, we've got general thunderstorms. Could see a severe thunderstorm tomorrow. Not very high chance of it. Again, southern Ohio, day 3. So that would be Monday. It's not impossible to see severe thunderstorms when you have a general thunderstorm risk. But nothing's looking too spicy for southern Ohio. You're going to get a decent amount of rain probably, though. Yeah, St. Louis, same type of deal. Not looking too bad over the next few days. Not really looking too bad. Give me one second, guys. One second.
New information, this special marine warning has been updated. Warning, a new special marine warning has been issued.
Sorry I took so long. I'm sorry.
Thunderstorm warning has been issued.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't understand why my computer crashes if I'm like what? I shouldn't say this because I'm jinxing it, but like the only time my computer doesn't crash is when I'm streaming. And when I'm streaming, I'm doing like the most on my computer. It's really weird. Whatever's wrong with my CPU, it's like okay when I'm streaming. I have no explanation for that. We forgive you. Thank God. All right. Any questions? I'll probably be on for another 10-15 minutes. My goal is from here moving forward until I have to bring my computer in again in a couple weeks just for them to put a new part in, to be posting every day again. On the weekends, I'm going to be doing 2 streams, midday and then evening. Yeah, just trying to get back to normal. Being Dublista, appreciate you.
A new severe thunderstorm.
Yeah, what's tropical survival of the Gulf? This is chance for tropical development. So, you know, I'm looking at this and there's not much happening here. What it looks like, and this is very weird, this is spinning. Looks to be like the center of the lows right here. Actually, it's almost as if they expect this to cross and then maybe form into some sort of tropical depression or storm and then make landfall up here. Storm, like it's really weird that this is, you know, I don't see that happening. You have a low here that's going to be pushing off to the east, and even if this thing makes it over into the Gulf, you're going to have this entering a high shear territory right over here. As you have this, as you have these frontal boundaries moving off into the east. So even if this thing gets its act together over northeastern Gulf, I don't think it's going to, maybe we get a depression that makes landfall somewhere in the northeastern Gulf, but I'm honestly not concerned about this at all. Not in the slightest. It's going to be a little bit rainy for Florida, though. As you can see, excessive rainfall day 3, excessive rainfall day 2. So, and then we're going to have an excessive rainfall day 4 probably for Florida, excessive rainfall day 5. Yeah, constantly an excessive rainfall down there in Florida. Let's look at our multi-day, 1 to 5. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Lots of rain in Florida. You're still in a drought down here. That might solve your drought. You could get 8 to 9 inches locally in the Everglades. So, lots of tropical moisture. So do you think we will have an Enzo neutral this winter? Yes. I do not think we're going to enter an, I think it would be staggering if we entered an El Nino in time for winter. I don't see it happening at all. We would have to have a high pressure set up over here. We'd have to have like a high pressure setup over here. That would just completely, let me do this. That would just cut off convection for a little bit. You don't really get high pressures down here along the equator, but you can get drier air. Sometimes what can also help that is depending on where our MJO is after an MJO pulls out or before it pulls in. Sometimes it's a little bit drier, but we would need this to really, really dry up. So that we could get a lot more surface heat. And I don't see that happening. We've had extremely active start to our hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific. There's been so much convection out here.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
If anything, I think, yeah, this is going to be a slow transition into an El Nino. I think we're going to be in Enzo neutral the entire winter, which means we don't know what the heck is going to happen this winter. There's much more confidence if we're in an El Nino or La Nina, what's going to happen. That's why this last winter fell apart. They expected heavy, heavy snow here and heavy snow here. Didn't happen because we never ended up entering a La Nina like we were supposed to.
New information. This special marine warning has
Any hope for rain in Utah? Let's take a look. 3 days out. 5 days out. 7 days out. No. Maybe somewhere gets a tenth of an inch. No. Sorry. I don't make the weather. I just report it. I wish I could make the weather. That'd be cool. Just kidding. Thanks, Justin. This is our, if you want to know where the rainfall is supposed to be falling over the next 7 days. Oklahoma, central to northern Texas. Florida, southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, southern Louisiana. A decent amount up here through portions of New England and the mid-Atlantic and southeast. Those are the 3 areas that are definitely standing out. Especially Florida and Oklahoma and Texas. Unfortunately, I do not speak good Spanish, Jose. Mi español es no bueno.
A new severe
Soy
thunderstorm
estúpido.
warning has been issued.
Yo soy estúpido. Lo siento. Me es no inteligente. Hey, I tried my best. I tried. God.
New information.
I don't. How could I be speaking Portuguese if I don't know Portuguese? Te amo es Connor. Como te amo?
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Soy guapo y soy guapo y inteligente y grande. Listen, I used to know Spanish, okay? I took 4 years of Spanish, and then I was in Spanish countries, or I was in Spanish countries. And then I was in like Central and South America a lot practicing, and then I stopped using it for 10 years, and I've forgotten everything, basically. You know what they say? If you don't use it, you lose it. And it's very true, at least for me in language. Fort Worth doesn't need no more rain. Yes, Fort Worth does not need more rain. I agree. I agree. I agree. Thanks for the follow, even though my Spanish is bad. I'm working on it. Okay, I'll start. I was doing German on Duolingo. Maybe I'll get back into Spanish. This is interesting. What's going on up here? New severe thunderstorm warning up here. NHL 60-mile-per-hour winds. This looked like originally like it was like a little bit of a bow echo, but now this is is not.
New information. This special marine warning has
So
been
it's not
updated.
looking too dangerous. Is that our only... We do have some severe thunderstorm warnings out here in Virginia. None of which look very serious. 6-mile-per-hour winds, small hail. Lots of flash flood warnings out there, though, in east central Virginia. Paducah, Kentucky. Paducah, Kentucky could see some strong thunderstorms later. Potentially. You guys are down here, right? Strongest severe thunderstorms could move into your area at 8, 9 p.m. tonight. And they'll be out pretty quickly. That's a squall line, so you could get some damaging winds, potential power outages later this evening, so just be aware of that. I'll probably get on a little bit later, guys. Although, you know, most of the severe weather today is... Yeah, I may get on a little bit later. Just to check on what's developing out here around 8 or 9. I don't expect anything too bad today. I'm concerned about flooding down here, Central Texas again. Very concerned. Everyone needs to know what's going on. If that wasn't a wake-up call, what happened, unfortunately, we're going to see more of it. Hopefully not as catastrophic as the flooding we've seen. Snow in Philly. I'm going to put out... When do I want to put it out? I'm going to do a way too early winter forecast. Maybe, you know what? Screw it. Maybe like next week. I'm going to look at everything I can, do a little bit of research. I'm going to try to find some comparable years, some composites, and I'm going to give you my best educated guess on what our winter is going to look like across the states. Who's going to see the snow, the cold air. I do have to say this. This previous winter, I actually called very well, not in my early winter report, but as we got into November and I started to see how things were shaping up, I actually called last winter very well. It was pretty accurate. Including me saying I thought we were going to have a couple major winter storms very far south, which we all know what happened there. And everyone said I was an idiot and it would never happen. Well, who's the idiot now? All right. So I'm going to put out a way too early winter forecast outlook, maybe within a week. I love talking about winter. And it's not just going to be random. I'm not going to take anyone else's forecast. I'm going to look at, the best thing to do is look at comparable seasons. Because history repeats itself a lot with weather. That's why we like looking at Enzo cycles and stuff like that. Enzo neutrals are extremely hard to predict though with outlooks. I'll tell you that. But we're gonna go for it. And you guys are gonna hold me accountable. Yes. Philly actually just got very unlucky because Philly got well below average snow this year, but if you looked at here, just to the south, they got above average snow this year. There were multiple storms that came across as actually not nor'easters, but strong clippers that dropped a lot of snow, and they dove basically each time. So Maryland ended up, a lot of areas, not all of Maryland, but a lot of areas of Maryland ended up with average to above average snow, while just to the north up here in Jersey and Philly and southeastern PA, we got screwed. That's the name of the game. We had multiple setups, I think three, that could have ended up dropping big snow in Philly, and unfortunately, they kind of dove south. Yeah, there was a big storm in Philly, 2013, 2014 year, I think. Enzo neutrals are unpredictable. You can have insane snow years or nothing at all. They're very unpredictable.
This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
To me, what's going to matter the most, if we are in an Enzo neutral, which I expect to be over this winter, is our MJO timing. Timing of the MJO. January is our coldest month. If we can get a nice MJO phase 7, phase 8 in January, snow chances drastically shoot up for everyone, especially in the Mid-Atlantic. And then we're going to have to see what we've actually gained ice. Our oceans are cooler, have gone through drastic cooling lately. We've gained ice in Antarctica. We may be seeing a little dip in global temperature actually going into this winter. That's not good for snow. I'll tell you that. We want more moisture in the air. We had a lot of moisture in the air last year. I actually think a little bit of a cool down would negatively affect us. Philly saw one of its coldest winters in 30 years last year, and we didn't get a lot of snow. Cold temperature. We're always going to have days below freezing. If it's too cold, you're not going to get enough moisture in the air. So we'll have to see. I actually would prefer a heat up for more snow. We'll see. I'm going to look at it. If NOAA and NWS satellites are down, how are you able to predict accurately? They're not down, and they are not going to be down. The cuts are terrible, but the cuts are also being widely overstated or widely exaggerated. They're affecting weather balloons, which makes me mad because I love my weather balloons. I love my short range models. They're affecting like 5% of weather balloons, 10% of weather balloons. It's not crazy. We still have 90% of them. But yes, they're affecting weather balloons. That affects short range forecasting, not long range. Climatologically, that was hard to say. We're not really having... Satellites aren't going to be shut down. Satellites cost $1 billion to put into space. They're not shutting it down. Okay? They'll shut down stuff on the surface. They're not going to shut down satellites. We're actually seeing advancements in satellite right now with GOES satellites, so not concerned with that at all. Yeah, not too concerned. None of the apps are accurate anymore. That's not true. That is not true. The bulk of our systems have remained intact. We've also added multiple AI. There's also been a huge push for artificial intelligence and modeling, which is... So our modeling is actually, even with the cuts, continuing to get better. We did not have AI modeling going back 2-3 years. We have it now, and it's a drastic improvement. Look at the MPAS models. Look at the 80-hour short-range Rufus. We didn't have those a couple years ago. Our modeling's better now, even with the cuts, than it was a couple years ago. So they're not the U.S. military is not disconnecting NOAA. That's a conspiracy. All right. Let's do that. So when we gain ice in Antarctica, it'll lead to a colder winter. No. I'm just saying we've seen ocean temperatures actually stop because we were seeing a consistent rise in ocean temperatures and global temperature over the last few years. Obviously, we've seen that it's slow a little bit. There's a couple reasons probably for that. We've seen our ozone layer actually heal a little bit. So that's good. When you see ice, we've continuously been losing ice in the poles. When you see a little bit of ice, gained back, and when you see our ozone layer at a better point, you see our ocean temperatures maybe not decrease but stabilize. Listen, climatology it looks at thousands of years, not just a year. So I don't think this is like, oh, the Earth's getting back. Oh, no, there's no climate change and the Earth's not heating and everything's okay. It's a little blip. I think it's a little stabilization, but that the Earth always does this. It's like, I always use this analogy. You get a cut on your leg, the cut gets a scab, it heals up, and then eventually your skin's back and it's all good. The Earth heals itself constantly and corrects itself. So I think the planet is in a little bit of a correction here. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all doom and gloom like a lot of people like to say it is. Miami is not going to be underwater next year, and everyone's going to be okay. I especially like what's happening with our ozone layer and the ice and poles. It's a good sign. Trump healed the ozone layer. I don't know about that. The Earth healed the ozone layer. But we do need to continue to try and slow down heating. Heating is not good.
New flash flood warning has been issued.
It's natural. Heating is natural. The Earth would be heating whether we were here or not, but we don't want to be speeding up the rate of heat. That's all. St. Paul, Indiana. Some of my favorite meteorologist came out recently because everyone was saying that the NOAA cuts and everything is what caused the Texas floods and why people weren't prepared. And it started to really bother me because it was so obviously not the case in this scenario. And then but I felt like I was the only one saying that. And then I saw a bunch of meteorologists that I like and respect come out and say the same thing, that were like, stop blaming this on the NWS cuts. This didn't have to do with the NWS cuts this time. And I was happy because I'm like, sometimes I feel alone in that. Like, there's things that the NWS cuts 100% will affect and are affecting. That was not one of them. We knew we knew the flooding was gonna occur. They were staffed, and no one could have predicted how bad the flooding was. That's one of those like one in 100-year events. We're gonna continue. We saw catastrophes. We saw major weather events before the cuts, and we're gonna see major weather events after. It's just how our planet works, unfortunately. The ozone is doing a little bit better right now. Yeah, St. Paul, Indiana. We're going to have strong severe thunderstorms rolling in there around 5, 6 p.m. today. Again, mainly a wind threat. Some down, small trees, branches. Power outages are possible. Not looking too bad, though. Is cloud seeding a thing? Cloud seeding is a thing. It's not a conspiracy. The conspiracy is that we have the ability to seed to the point where we can cause major storms. Cloud seeding is just, they release a chemical into the air that allows moisture to attach to it more easily, which allows for a little bit more convection development in our skies. It's very weak right now. Cloud seeding is still a thing that they're learning. They do it out in China because they have major droughts constantly out there. They try to put a little more moisture in the air, but we are not very good at cloud seeding. As humanity is not very good at controlling weather right now. As much as some people want us to be, we're not very good at it. Yeah, cloud seeding is a thing, but it's another thing that's vastly overstated. Of like, we don't have the ability to create. We do not have the ability to create these monster flooding situations. Cloud seeding, they think if you do a good cloud seeding job, you could put maybe 1/10 of an inch of rainfall down somewhere. Like literally 1/10 of an inch. So cloud seeding is a thing, and it can develop very weak showers, but the concern is, what maybe in the future they'll have the, as the technology gets better, cloud seeding could become an issue. It's really not right now though. But it is a thing. It's definitely a thing. You know who's actually talking about it the other day is Jim Cantori. Jim Cantori was reposting stuff and talking about on his Twitter about cloud seeding. Basically said the same thing. Cloud seeding is a thing. We're not creating any crazy weather events with cloud seeding right now. We just don't have the technology for it. Maybe one day though. Again, which is not it. Wouldn't be the best thing ever. Cloud seeding. Weather modification technique used to enhance precipitation primarily by introducing substances like silver iodide into clouds to encourage formation of larger raindrops and snowflakes. Basically, there's radars, dual polarization radars, because I've read up a lot on it, that can see areas in the sky that are very close to cloud formation and just need a little bit more, and they'll drop that silver iodide over that area in hopes of producing a cloud. A lot of times it doesn't work. Sometimes it does work. Cloud seeding is very weak right now. What happened in Evansville? What about Evansville? Listen, I love conspiracy theories as much as the next guy. But when it comes to weather, my job is to educate and help people. And so I do a lot of research on conspiracy theories and weather, because if I'm saying something, it's usually with a lot of confidence. What does the yellow mean? That's our slight risk for severe thunderstorms today. Mainly just a wind risk. A little bit of a tornado risk up here, but it's kind of not lasting much longer. What happened in Evansville? I'll probably get off now, and then I'll be back on a little bit later just to check on what's going on in the Ohio Valley as these storms. Why does what statement trigger me? Cloud seeding? It doesn't trigger me. You know, it's just a topic that's widely misunderstood. Widely misunderstood. I blocked you. Ooh, blocked you again. Thanks for 2 times. Thanks for letting me know. That was the 3rd time. I mean, you're not supposed to give yourself away like that. How much fun is a conversation with an uneducated conspiracy theorist going to be? Honestly. Like I said, listen, I have no problem with like conspiracy theories. I think they're fun and to see, you know, listen, there's conspiracy theories that turn out to be true. Maybe I don't know everything about cloud seeding. Maybe the conspiracy theories are true. But I just have to give you guys my my opinion from the stuff I've learned about it. Pretty high confidence, but you know, nothing's for sure. Some of the stuff I wish was true, because that's like, you know, badass. We have like super secret dark organizations out here spawning tornadoes. I mean, that sounds like a cool universe.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
What about Oklahoma? Yeah, Oklahoma, you can see these storms really begin firing off today at around 4 p.m. Central. So not too far from now. But there's a little bit of helicity, a little bit of low-level shear, 4,000 to 5,000 Cape values possible at the surface. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 1 or 2 spin-ups down here, even though they have less than a 2% threat for tornadoes down here. Just saying. I don't expect any strong tornadoes down here, but you could, you know. Please tell me that's a joke. What's a joke, Danny? We have severe storms rolling into New York. Let's take a look. Yeah, out here in eastern upstate. Not severe. Not severe. Maybe a little bit of hail core in here, but not looking too bad. So could get some gusty conditions. You can see these outflow boundaries here, these gust fronts. Yep, New York's getting some rain today. That is for sure. Not expected to be severe, though. Not impossible. Not impossible to get a severe thunderstorm, but not expected to be. All right, guys, I'm going to be on a little bit later. I'm happy to be back, at least for a little bit. And I'll keep my eye on the radar today and see what's going on. But again, not expecting anything major today. Not that it couldn't happen. But a lot of, 67 mile per hour gusts are possible with some of these thunderstorms. Maybe small hail. Tornado chances are very low across the board. If we do get any unexpected tornadoes, I think it would be down here in Oklahoma. Shocker, I know. Sydney, Ohio. I'll look at that before I get off. I spelled it wrong. Storms rolling into Sydney, Ohio. What do you know? Southwestern Ohio. Early to mid-evening. Again, wind threat. Yeah, I fixed it. It's just a wind threat for you guys. It's going to be an evening event. All right, I'll be back on a little bit later, guys. I appreciate you. I'm happy to be back. Mods, thanks for being in here. And I will see you guys a little bit later. Peace.